You've been reading the wrong playbooks. The business gurus selling you passive income blueprints. The LinkedIn influencers preaching authenticity while optimizing every post for engagement. The startup podcasts promising disruption while repeating the same tired frameworks. They're teaching you how to compete in a game that died 3 years ago. Meanwhile, somewhere in the dust of ancient India, in the fractured kingdoms of 300 BCE, a philosopher with nothing but ink and intellect rewrote the rules of power so completely that emperors trembled at his name. His strategies built an empire from ashes. His mind weaponized weakness into strength. His playbook predicted every move your competitors will make in 2026 before they even think of it. And you've never heard of him. By the end of this, you'll understand why the most dangerous entrepreneurs in 2026 won't be the ones with the best technology. They'll be the ones who understand what Chanakya understood 23 centuries ago about the architecture of winning. Let me describe your world right now. You wake up to 17 notifications. 3 of them are opportunities. 14 are distractions pretending to be opportunities. You can't tell which is which anymore. Your competitors aren't just in your city. They're in 17 countries, working while you sleep, pricing lower than physics should allow, moving faster than your decision-making process can handle. You've read the books. You've implemented the frameworks. You've optimized your funnel and clarified your messaging and A/B tested your landing page. And you're still exhausted, still uncertain, still watching others win with strategies you don't understand. Here's what nobody tells you. The game changed, not gradually, suddenly. Somewhere between 2023 and now, the old rules stopped working. Authenticity became a performance. Disruption became a buzzword. Agility became an excuse for having no strategy at all. You're fighting with weapons designed for a war that ended. While your smartest competitors are reaching back 23 centuries for something sharper. Imagine India in 300 BCE. 16 kingdoms, constant war, betrayal as common as breathing. Every alliance temporary, every friend a potential enemy, power shifting like sand in wind. Into this chaos walked a man named Chanakya, not a warrior, not a king, a scholar, thin, unimpressive, dismissed by the powerful as irrelevant. He had no army, no wealth, no royal blood, just a mind that saw patterns others missed. They say he was insulted at a royal court, thrown out, humiliated. He tied his hair in a knot and swore not to untie it until he had destroyed that kingdom and built something greater in its place. Most people make threats like this. Chanakya actually did it. He found an exiled prince named Chandragupta, unremarkable, powerless, and he used him like a chess piece, not through brute force, through strategy so precise it looked like prophecy. He wrote it all down. Every tactic, every psychological lever, every method of turning weakness into dominance. He called it the Arthashastra, the science of wealth and power. Not wealth as in money, wealth as in total strategic advantage. The ability to see 3 moves ahead while everyone else is reacting to the last move. For 23 centuries, rulers have read it in secret. Because it works. Not sometimes, always. And in 2026, in a market that moves faster than human decision-making, these principles aren't just relevant. They're the only thing that works. Pillar 1. The enemy within your own walls. Here's what Chanakya understood that modern business books miss entirely. Your biggest threat isn't your competition. It's your own organization. Specifically, it's the people closest to you who have divided loyalty. The team member who's already interviewing elsewhere. The partner who's building their exit strategy. The advisor who benefits from your confusion. Chanakya said this directly. Before you fight the external enemy, eliminate the internal one. Not through paranoia, through clarity. In 2026, this looks different than it did in ancient India. Your enemy isn't plotting your assassination. They're quietly undermining your authority. Taking credit for wins, distancing themselves from losses, creating optionality while you're all in. Chanakya's method? Test loyalty before you need it. Give small opportunities to betray you. See who takes them. The ones who pass aren't just trustworthy. They're the foundation of everything you're about to build. Modern founders make a fatal mistake. They assume loyalty. They hope for alignment. They confuse presence with commitment. Chanakya knew better. Loyalty is proven, not assumed. And the time to test it is before the crisis, not during it. But there's a darker side to this wisdom that most people miss. Pillar 2. The illusion of strength. You think your competitors are strong. They're not. They're performing strength. And there's a difference. Chanakya saw this everywhere. Kingdoms with massive armies that collapsed the moment you struck the right weak point. Rulers who appeared invincible until you understood what they were protecting. Everyone has a dependency. Find it. Leverage it. In 2026 business, this principle is surgical. Your competitor isn't strong because they have more funding. They're fragile because they have more funding. They've built dependencies. Shareholder expectations, burn rate pressures, promises they have to keep. Your competitor isn't strong because they have a bigger team. They're fragile because coordination is exponentially harder at scale. Every new person is a new point of failure. Your competitor isn't strong because they have market share. They're fragile because they're optimizing for the current market. The moment the market shifts, their size becomes an anchor, not an advantage. Chanakya's insight: strength is always hiding weakness. Find the weakness. Apply pressure there. Not through aggression, through precision. While everyone else is trying to build the biggest army, you're studying where their supply lines are weakest. While everyone else is trying to outspend competitors, you're understanding what dependency you can disrupt. This is how the small defeat the large. Not through luck. Through seeing what's actually there instead of what appears to be there. Pillar 3. The strategic pause. Here's where Chanakya diverges completely from modern hustle culture. He believed in doing nothing. Deliberately, strategically. When everyone expects action, you pause. When the market demands a response, you wait. Not out of fear. Out of understanding. Because here's what nobody tells you about 2026. The speed of information is faster than the speed of wisdom. You can know what's happening instantly. You cannot know what it means instantly. Your competitors are reacting, pivoting, moving fast and breaking things. They think they're agile. They're actually chaotic. Chanakya would watch them destroy themselves. Then move. He called this the art of waiting for the enemy to tire themselves out. Modern translation: let your competitors burn through their resources chasing trends you know won't last. But this requires something brutal. Confidence in your strategy while the world calls you slow. The discipline to watch opportunities pass because you know they're traps. The patience to let others make the costly mistakes. This is the hardest pillar because modern culture worships speed. Momentum, constant movement. Chanakya understood that stillness is often the most violent form of action. Because while you're still, you're thinking. And thinking is the only advantage that compounds. The silent enemy. So why haven't you done this yet? Why are you still reacting instead of strategizing? Still moving fast instead of moving precisely? Still assuming loyalty instead of testing it? Because your ego needs to feel productive. Sitting still feels like falling behind. Testing loyalty feels like paranoia. Studying competitor weaknesses feels like you're not focused on your own strengths. Your ego wants the appearance of momentum. Chanakya wanted actual power. These are not the same thing. The silent enemy isn't your competition. It's your need to be seen as winning before you've actually won. Social media made this worse. Now everyone's performing success, announcing pivots, sharing lessons from failures that happened last week. Chanakya would have laughed at this. He operated in silence. He revealed his strategy only after victory was inevitable. In 2026, the entrepreneurs who win will be the ones who can tolerate the discomfort of secrecy, of building something real while everyone else is building an audience. The final revelation. Remember the promise from the beginning? The secret that separates those who compete from those who dominate? Here it is. Chanakya didn't teach strategy. He taught seeing. Every tactic in the Arthashastra is just a method for seeing reality more clearly than your opponent. Seeing their dependencies, their weaknesses, their patterns, their inevitable moves. Business in 2026 will not be won by the fastest. It will be won by those who see what's actually happening while everyone else sees what they want to be happening. Your competitors are reading the same business books, using the same frameworks, hiring from the same talent pools, but none of them are asking Chanakya's question, what is everyone assuming that isn't true? Find that assumption. Build where everyone else thinks there's nothing worth building. Strike where everyone else thinks there's nothing worth attacking. That's not a strategy. That's a way of seeing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The question isn't whether you'll apply these principles. The question is whether you can tolerate seeing what they reveal. About your team. About your competitors. About yourself. Chanakya tied his hair in a knot and didn't untie it until he'd conquered an empire. What knot are you willing to tie?